of themselves, and above all, must not be filled in. This is thus the second characteristic of the machine. Breaks that are a detachment, which must not be confused with breaks that are a slicing off. The latter have to do with continuous fluxes and are related to partial objects. Skizzes have to do with the heterogeneous chains, and as their basic unit, use detachable segments or mobile stocks resembling building blocks or flying bricks. We must conceive of each brick as having been launched from a distance and as being composed of heterogeneous elements, containing within it not only an inscription with signs from different alphabets, but also various figures, plus one or several straws, and perhaps a corpse. Cutting into the flows involves detachment of something from a chain, and the partial objects of production presuppose stocks of material or recording bricks within the coexistence and the interaction of all the syntheses. How could part of a flow be drawn off without a fragmentary detachment taking place within the code that comes to inform the flow? When we noted a moment ago that the schizo is at the very limit of the decoded flows of desire, we meant that he was at the very limit of the social codes, where a despotic signifier destroys all the chains, linearizes them, biunivocalizes them, and uses the bricks as so many immobile units for the construction of an imperial Great Wall of China. But the schizo continually detaches them, continually works them loose, and carries them off in every direction in order to create a new polyvocity that is the code of desire. Every composition, and also every decomposition, uses mobile bricks as the basic unit. Diascasis and diascasis as monocosis. Either a lesion spreads along fibers that link it to other lesions, and thus gives rise at a distance to phenomena that are incomprehensible from a purely mechanistic, but not a machinic point of view.
I don't care.
Or else a humoral disturbance brings on a shift in nervous energy and creates broken, fragmented paths
pretending
within
like
the
this
sphere
only
of
happens
instincts.
in,
These
I
bricks
don't know,
or
say
blocks are the essential
Judeo-Christian
parts of
society.
desiring machines from the point of view of the recording process.
Specialized services.
They are at
They
once
need
component
IT,
parts and products of the
high-tech
process of
services,
decomposition that are spatially
products,
localized only
not
at
just
certain
high-tech
moments
products, but just
by
products in
contrast with
general,
the nervous system,
goods,
which is a great
and you're
chronogeneous
talking
machine.
about
A melody
hundreds of millions of
machine
people
the music box
instantly
type,
available.
with a non-spatial localization.
Right, and
What makes Monakoff and Morg's study an unparalleled one, going far beyond the entire Jacksonist philosophy that originally inspired it, is the theory of bricks or blocks, their detachment and fragmentation, and above all, what such a theory presupposes: the introduction of desire into neurology. The third type of interruption or break characteristic of the desiring machine is the residual break, or residuum, which produces a subject alongside the machine, functioning as a part adjacent to the machine. And if this subject has no specific or personal identity, if it traverses the body without organs without destroying its indifference, it is because it is not only a part that is peripheral to the machine, but also a part that is itself divided into parts that correspond to the detachments from the chain and the removals from the flow brought about by the machine. Thus, this subject consumes and consummates each of the states through which it passes, and is born of each of them anew, continuously emerging from them as a part made up of parts, each one of which completely fills up the body without organs in the space of an instant. This is what allows Lacan to postulate and describe in detail an interplay of elements that is more machinic than etymological. Parere, to procure. Separare, to separate. Se parere, to engender oneself. At the same time, he points out the intensive nature of this interplay.
I don't know. This is called like
It performs its role all by itself.
Dio Oedipus or something
In
like
this
that.
case, only after the subject has partitioned itself does it proceed to its parturition.
Nothing.
That is why the
You
subject
can listen if you
procure
want.
what is of particular concern to it here. A state
I don't care if you
which
do
would
or you
enable
don't. I
which
just
would
randomly
satisfy
invite people.
society.
Okay, well
Nothing
let
in the life
me
of any
show you.
subject
You know.
would sacrifice a very large part of its interests.